I'm attorney Ben Crump here with Dr. Kimberly Kensaw and our leader of the Congressional Black Caucus, Chairman Steve Horford. And we're with the families of those who have been taken from this earth far, far too soon. And tragically, since George Floyd died, we really thought we were at a turning point, that we were going to get systematic police reform in America that had eluded us for decades. We hadn't had systematic police reform in the United States of America since Lyndon Baines Johnson Great Society legislation in the 1960s. We thought after Rodney King was killed, Rodney King was brutalized in the 1980s in Los Angeles, we would get systematic police reform. It did not happen. We thought surely after Michael Brown and Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot, that we would get systematic police reform in America. It didn't happen. We thought certainly after George Floyd was tortured to death on video during a pandemic, and everybody saw it, Congressman Horford, we thought we were going to get police reform in America. It didn't happen. And then after Tyre Nichols was brutally beaten by 5 police officers, we thought we would get systematic police reform. It didn't happen. And I can only fathom, had we got that reform, how many families up here like Sonia Massie and others would have been spared their loved one becoming another hashtag. It is an urgent call, an urgent call. How many more exhibits, America, do we have to give you before we say we have to have some reform on these officers? If we would have had the National Registry, Sonia Massie's family would not have lost her just because she was a black woman having a mental health crisis, because that officer who had been in 6 police departments in 4 years would not have been on the force, and he would not have had the ability with a gun and a badge to shoot Sonia Massie in her face after she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." It is very relevant to this moment. Before I get ready to turn it over to Dr. Crenshaw, well, we may, and we're going to limit everybody because we want to hear from these families, and then Congressman Horford. Tyre Nichols' trial is going on right now in Memphis, Tennessee. We can never take for granted that when a black person in America is killed by a police officer, that they're going to get justice. We can't take it for granted, y'all. We can't take it for granted. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. My heart is broken, but her mother's heart must be broken in a million pieces, Dr. Crenshaw. In her own home, her body mutilated with bullet holes while she's practically naked in her nightgown. Everybody knows the police lied to get the no-knock warrant. Everybody knows they lied. But now we're gonna say that that doesn't matter, that the reason she is dead is because her boyfriend, a law-abiding black man in America, had a right to the Second Amendment just like any other citizen. You gonna say it's his fault and they go free while Breonna is dead in her grave? It is an urgent call for systematic police reform in America. So Tyre, Sonia Massie, Breonna Taylor families are here to talk and help give attention to all the other tragedies because their matter is relevant right now. So Dr. Crenshaw is going to speak briefly and Chairman Horford will say a word, but then we're going to hear from these families and proceed.
Thank you, Attorney Crump. My name is Kimberly Kensaw. I'm here on behalf of the mothers and sisters of Say Her Name. Black women and girls as young as 7 and as old as 93 have been killed by the police. They have been killed driving while black, shopping while black, being homeless while black, having a mental disability while black, having a domestic dispute while black, driving near the White House with an infant strapped in the back of the car while black, boiling water while black. Yet there is a pervasive silence around the killing of black women, a silence that is born of the fact that killing women doesn't fit the frame of anti-black police violence. The mothers and the sisters of Say Her Name call the consequences of that the loss of the lost. They are grieving the loss of their loved ones, and they're grieving the fact that we don't know their names. Yet we also know that even in the rare occasion that the names of a black woman who's been killed by the police might remain on everyone's lips, like the killing of Breonna Taylor, notoriety does not guarantee justice, as we learned just recently when the officers who killed Breonna Taylor were able to evade those charges. We understand that when justifications for our killing amount to this is just the fact of life, when the circumstances become the justification for our killing, that our killability is being reinforced by law itself. This killability is why we need legal reform. This killability is why we need the George Floyd Policing Act. This killability is why everyone must stand up to make sure there is not another family like this, who can point to the fact that it was known that a police officer had the propensity to violence, that there's never another family who can say that we know that we need different interventions in mental health crisis. There's not another family who can say that just the desire to punish someone is a justification for killing everybody in their sight. This is why we must say her name. This is why we must say Black Lives Matter. This is why we must demand criminal justice reform today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Crenshaw. Now we will hear from our leader, our champion for justice, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Representative Stephen Horford.
First, this is one of the hardest meetings we take as members of Congress, as the Congressional Black Caucus, is meeting with the parents, with the mothers who have lost a child. And I want to start by thanking the mothers of the movement for joining us today and for recognizing and for your courage and bravery. The mother of Sonia Massie, the parents of Tyre Nichols, the family members of Tama Palmer, of Breonna Taylor, of Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Corrine Gaines, India Kager, and of course, George Floyd, and so many more. I want to thank Attorney Ben Crump for his tireless advocacy on behalf of these families, for Dr. Kimberly Kensaw for putting not only your love and passion for others, but for articulating the absurdity. You use the word killability.
Wow.
That strikes to the core. And I think puts into just a little bit of the words of the pain and the anguish that these families feel and that so many other families fear that they could be next. So today, the Congressional Black Caucus affirms our commitment and reaffirms our commitment to the families that we are continuing to do all that we can to advance meaningful, bipartisan public safety legislation to create safer communities and to hold police officers accountable who violate the public trust accountable. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who literally, during her process of receiving treatment before her death, ensured that this legislation was reintroduced in the House, and Senator Cory Booker, who has introduced the legislation in the Senate. As chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, our message to the families is that we want all of you to know that we are still fighting, that we are still working, and we will not stop fighting for you or the loss of your loved ones until the legislation is passed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Now we will hear from a woman who has represented her family and all the families in the most noblest of manners. The mother and father of Tyre Nichols, Miss Roana Wales and Rodney Wales.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So back in 2020, when George Floyd was killed in front of everyone's eyes, in front of the world, we thought that because the world saw this, that our babies would not die from police brutality again. But 3 years later, my son, Tyre Nichols, was murdered by 5 Memphis police officers, and he was beaten to death. Today, I stand before you while a federal trial is being held as we speak for 3 of the officers that murdered my son. I'm not gonna stand here too long because we have a lot of families here that need to speak. But I do want to say that we need to pass this bill. I know Representative Sheila Jackson added the Tyre Nichols intervention, duty to intervene to this bill. We have so many kids that are dying by the hands of the police. And all I have to say is right now, is it Congress that's holding this up? So I want to say to Congress, all these kids and all our kids that are being murdered, their blood is on your hands.
Wow.
And I invite them to sit down to talk to us mothers and tell us why they will not pass this bill to protect our children, because it's just too many of our children being murdered by the hands of police officers. Thank you.
At this time now, we will hear from the family of Sonia Massie. Her mother, uncle, and cousin are here, and they're going to talk to you briefly as well. Uncle Ray, Miss Donna, Shadia, y'all may speak loud.
I just want to say that Sonia Massie was a beautiful black queen. She was my niece, and she was going through a crisis. She called the police and ended up getting killed in her own home. And that's been the worst for my family. I don't. I'm sorry.
So Sonya is my cousin, and she was going through trying to get some help for herself. With mental health, a lot of people want to put you somewhere. She felt ill.
She admitted herself.
She wanted to get help. She wanted to, she probably would call the police or go to the hospital. That was her reaching out for assistance. The night that Sonya was murdered in her home, she just called. She just needed their assistance. She didn't call to be killed. She just wanted their help.
Yeah, and watch the videos, y'all. I saw you. The police were there earlier today. She never was threatening. She never was
her
aggressive.
voice.
Never raised her voice
Never.
throughout the whole day. She needed a helping hand, not a bullet to her face. When you're a black person and having a mental health crisis, that should not equal the death sentence when you call the police. Miss Donna, you want to say anything? Okay, this is Sonia's mother.
Sonya was not mentally ill. They're saying she has a long background of being mentally ill. Sonya could feel stuff before it even happened. She was clairvoyant. And so she'd always say, I told you. And so one day she just got this feeling. She said, Mom, I'm going to die. I said, what? She said, I'm going to die. I said, stop saying that it could happen, because everything she said was going to happen, and it came to pass. 4 days later, she was dead. Well, do you remember when Obama was the president? We didn't have this going on every day. It was nice and peaceful. We are at more peace than ever. And then soon as Trump got in, let the purge begin. It was a purge. He told them, if you kill a black person or person of color, I will get you pardoned. You can go home with pay. It's just like going on vacation. We need to stop paying them to go home on a vacation when they kill one of us. Especially if you've seen it on camera, why would you send him home on administrative leave? Now, it's different if we didn't see it, we can't prove it, but these people, we seen them kill George Floyd on TV. We seen them kill Sonya on video. And he came to kill her. She was assassinated because he came there earlier that day and he knew her. Did you notice he said, are you mentally ill today? And she said, no, I took my medication, because he had been there earlier. He came there to kill her. She was assassinated.
Thank you, Ms. Donna. Our heart breaks with you. And finally, for this press conference, you're going to hear from Breonna Taylor's mother, Tama Palmer, who has every right to have her righteous indignation because she trusted the system, and the system is betraying her trust. It's betraying all our trust. Miss Tama Palmer, you can come up here.
How y'all doing? Breonna was, I said I wasn't gonna go.
Just take your time. Take your time.
Breonna literally was doing everything right in her life. She worked for the city of Louisville, and she worked for this city and they killed her. She literally was off work at home in her own house enjoying her life. They owned a gun legally. They did everything right. And you have these people who decided they needed to come in her house for whatever made up reason, which was the most insane thing I've ever heard of, because Breonna was the type of person, you could have knocked on her door and told her who you was and what you wanted. She was gonna let you in because she needed to prove her point. And then she was gonna tell you, I'm gonna call my mama. Which is crazy because I tell her I can't whoop everybody, but I was her mother first. I was her protector and her friend, and I wasn't even there because she was home where she belonged, you know? they murdered Breonna, and I am dying. I am dying. I don't know how to live in this world who keeps telling me that this thing that happened to my child is wrong, that there's laws that's supposed to protect her, but because no one videoed her, because no one did that, you're gonna say her life don't matter. And that's insane. I am tired. I am tired of begging for people to do the right thing. Because it's bigger than Breonna. It's all these women up here crying for their babies. And I know I'm not the only one feeling like I'm dying. I am dying. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what more to beg for. I am willing to die for justice for my child.
That's right. That's right.
She deserves so much more. Breonna was amazing, and the world is losing out on that. And the city of Louisville is walking around as if it's okay. And it's not. It's not okay. She simply wanted to be great. And she was well on her way.
Yes,
and she deserved to be here.
Yes.
I don't know how to talk about her in the past because she's inside of me.
Yes.
She's a part of me. And this thing is killing me. All we all want is justice. And of course we want this bill passed. Of course we want to ban no-knock warrants and chokeholds and dying in front of cameras as if we don't matter.
Yes.
I don't know why we have to beg for justice. I don't know why. We're not asking for anything better than anyone else. We're not asking for no special favors. We are asking you to do the right thing. And it's just that simple.
And we will make
Do the right thing. And we're going to keep fighting for Breonna. No.
And I wanted to just say, did you guys know that Breonna Taylor and Tyre Nichols' birthday are on the same day?
The exact same
The
day.
exact same day.
Day and year.
And they're both as quirky as quirk.